Good day. I'm Linear Siren PANOPIO, Group 11, and I'm about to report is Module 11, Application Development, Language and Tools. So, first one is Procedural Language. Language is a type of computer programming language that specifies a series of well-structured steps and procedures within its programming context to compose a program. It contains a systematic order of statement, function, and commands to complete a computational task or program. And procedural language is also known as imperative language. So there are 7 examples of procedural language. First is Fortran, Algol, COBOL, BASIC, Pascal, C, and Ada. So Fortran is a computer programming language that is extensively used in numerical scientific computing. While out with the scientific community, Fortran has declined in popularity over the years. It still has a strong user base with scientific programmers and is also used in organizations such as weather forecaster, financial trading, and engineering simulation. Fortran programs can be highly optimized to run on high-performance computers, and in general, the language is suited to producing codes where performance is important. And Fortran is a compiled language, or more specifically, it is compiled ahead of time. In other words, you must perform a special step called compilation of your written code before you are able to run it on a computer. This is where Fortran differs to interpreted languages as Python and R, which run through an interpreter which executes the instruction directly, but at the cost of compute speed. Next is Algol. Algol programming language was developed in 1958 as a program for the display of algorithms. It was elegant and included several design features that have since become staple features of advanced programming language. Algol programs and procedures employ a head body format, and procedures can be nested within other procedures. Algol was the first programming language to make use of start and delimiters for processes within procedures, a feature now common in advanced object-oriented programming language. The language allows recursion and iterative procedures, dynamic array structures, and user-defined data types. Despite its elegance and advanced feature, however, Algol never became widely used and is now one of the oldest and least used of programming language. COBOL. COBOL stands for Common Business Oriented Language. The U.S. Department of Defense, in conference form, codicil, codicil or Conference on Data System Language, to develop a language for business data processing needs, which is now known as COBOL. And COBOL is used for writing application programs, and we cannot use it to write system software. The application like those in defense domain, insurance domain, etc., which require huge data processing, make extensive use of COBOL. Features of COBOL. It allows you to handle a considerable volume of data due to its advanced file managing capability. Logical structure in COBOL is easier to read and modify, and it can be executed and compiled on machines like IBM, personal computers, etc. Testing and debugging tools are always accessible on all platforms of the computer. Therefore, it is a robust programming language. You can easily debug in COBOL as it has different divisions. COBOL was designed for business-oriented application. It can handle large volumes of data due to its advanced file handling capabilities. BASIC. BASIC was an early programming language that is still among the simplest and most popular of programming language. BASIC stands for Beginner's All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code. Originally designed as an interactive mainframe time-sharing language by John Kemeny and Thomas Kurtz in 1963. It became widely used on personal computers everywhere. On IBM's first family computer, the PCJ, A basic cartridge was a popular add-on because of its simplicity. BASIC has frequently been used in teaching an introductory concept of programming with a working language. And BASIC continues to be widely used because it can be learned quickly. Its statements are easy to read by other programmers, and support is available on most operating systems. OS Basics documentation has been translated into many national languages. It often comes with the sound and graphics support. A popular version of BASIC today is QBasic, and BASIC is used in many business applications and is still considered a valid choice as programming language for some purposes. Microsoft Visual Basic, VB, adds object-oriented feature and graphical user interface to the standard BASIC. Pascal. Pascal, a computer programming language developed about 1970 by Nicolas Wirth of Switzerland to teach structured programming, which emphasized the orderly use of conditional and loop structure without goto statement. Although Pascal resembled Algol in notation, it provided the ability to define data types with which to organize complex information, a feature beyond the capabilities of Algol, as well as Fortran and COBOL. User-defined data types allowed the programmer to introduce names for complex data, which the language translator could then check for correct usage before running program. And during the late 1970s and 80s, Pascal was one of the most widely used language for programming instruction. It was available on nearly all computers, and because of its familiarity, clarity, and security, it was used for production software as well for education. C. C is a general-purpose programming language that is extremely popular, simple, and flexible to use. It is a structured programming language that is machine independent and extensively used to write various applications, operating systems like Windows, and many other complex programs like Oracle Database, Git, Python interpreter, and more. And it is said that C is a God's programming language. One can say C is a base for the programming. If you know C, you can easily grasp the knowledge of the other programming language that is use the concept of C. It is essential to have a background in computer memory mechanism because it is an important aspect when dealing with C programming language. And last is ADA is a highly advanced programming language that is designed according to the fundamental software engineering principles of efficiency, reliability, portability, and maintainability. ADA provides everything from information hiding to abstract data types to concurrent-oriented programming functionality. Almost all professional AIDA programmers follow a controlled validation process that eliminates poor practices and vulnerabilities that were possible through old language like C. ADA is highly flexible and structured object-oriented computer programming language. Next is object-oriented programming language and application. And the first one is client-server system. Objective or oriented client server system provides the IT infrastructure creating object-oriented client server internet or OCSI application. Here instructor refers to operating system, networks, and hardware. OSCI consists of three major technology: the client server, object-oriented programming, and the internet. Next is OOD or object-oriented databases. They are also called objective database management or ODBMS. These databases store objects instead of data, such as real numbers, and integers object consists of the following. First is attributes. Attributes are the data defined at traits of an object. This data can be as simple as integers and real number. It can also be a reference to a complex object. second is methods. They define the behavior and are also called function or procedures. Next is real-time system design. Real-time system design or inherit complexity that makes it difficult to build them. Object-oriented techniques make it easier to handle those complexities or complexities. These techniques present ways of dealing with these complexities by providing an integrated framework which includes schedulability, analysis, and behavior specification. Next is simulation and modeling system. It's difficult to model complex system due to the varying specification of variables. These are prevalent in medicine and in other areas of natural science such as ecology, zoology, and agronomic system. Simulating complex system requires modeling and understanding interaction explicitly. Object-oriented programming provides an alternative approach for simplifying this complex modeling system. Next is hypertext and hypermedia. OOP also helps in laying out a framework for hypertext. Basically, hypertext is similar to regular text as it can be stored, searched, and edited easily. The only difference in that hypertext is text with pointers to other texts as well. And hypermedia, on the other hand, is a superset of hypertext document having hypermedia not only contains links to other pieces of text and information, but also numerous other forms of media like ranging from image to sound. Next is neural networking and parallel programming. It addresses the problem of prediction and approximation of complex time-varying systems. Firstly, the entire time-varying process split into several time intervals or slots. Then, neural networks are developed in a particular time interval to disperse the load of various networks. OOP simplifies the entire process by simplifying the approximation and prediction ability of networks. Next is Office automation system. This includes formal as well as informal electronic system primarily concerned with information sharing and communication to inform people inside and outside the organization. Some examples are email, word processing, web calendars, and desktop publishing. Next is CIM, CAD, or CAM system. OOP can also be used in manufacturing and design application that it allows people to reduce the effort involved. For instance, it can be used while designing blueprints and flowcharts. OOP makes it possible for the designer engineers to produce these flowcharts and blueprints accurately. AI expert system. These are computer applications that are developed to solve complex problems pertaining to a specific domain, which is at a level far beyond the reach of a human brain. It has the following characteristics: reliable, highly responsive, understandable, and high performance. And the next topic is development tools. Development a tool that supports the rapid implementation of software application upon a programming platform. The term either refers to tools that enables development of full-fledged application using compiled, interpreted code or software package used by developers to author and package multimedia content deliverable to end user. The former is commonly referred to as integrated development environment or IDE, in the latter as authoring tools. And these are the application that you can use. Or first is Red Studio. Red Studio is a powerful IDE for building native apps on Windows, Android, ROS, macOS, and Linux. It enables you to design beautiful desktop and mobile app UIs with less coding effort, write once, compile everywhere. It features single code base for all major platforms, connect to over 20 databases natively with Paradox, high-speed direct access, up-to-date user interface controls, WinRT, APIs, high DPI, related feature, and Windows Store support. And it used the HTTP and REST client libraries available on all platforms to invoke REST services or AWS and Azure components. And less is powerful C data enterprise connection to access 70 plus data sources. Next is Embold. Fixing bugs before deployment saves a lot of time and energy in the long run. Embold is a software analytic platform that analyzes source code and uncovers issues that impact stability, robustness, security, and maintainability. It features as with the Embold plugins, you can pick up code smells and vulnerabilities as you code before making comments. Unique anti-pattern detection prevents the compounding of unmaintainable code. Integrate seamlessly with GitHub, Bitbucket, Azure, and Git. Plugins available for Eclipse and IntelliJ IDEA. Get deeper and faster checks than standard code editors for overturn language. Next is Collaborator. Collaborator is a peer code and document review tool for development teams that take quality seriously. Comprehensive review capabilities. And it feature is comprehensive review capabilities. Reviews source code, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Vision diagram, Adobe PDF, image, and Simulink models all in one tool. It enhances the code review process for GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, and Azure DevOps. Supports 11 version controls tools including Git, SVN, TFS, Purpose, CBS, ClearCase, and RTC and more. Proof of review ensure proof of review with electronic signature and detail. Oh, next is Studio 3T. Studio 3T for MongoDB. For MongoDB helps you to build queries, fast, generates intense code, import or export in multiple formats, and much more. Features: query MongoDB faster with our visual query builders, InterShell, or SQL query tool. Our data masking tools enable data compliances and bolster security with powerful field level data obfuscation. Import to MongoDB from JSON, CSV, BSON, MongoDump, and SQL, and get a preview of your output document as you make changes. Migration from MongoDB to SQL or vice versa has never been easier with our migration tools. Links. Links is a low-code IDE and server. ID pros use links to quickly create custom automated business processes, integrate application, expose web services, and to efficiently handle high workloads. Feature: easy to use, drag and drop interface. Over 100 pre-built functions and services for rapid developments. One-click deployment to any local or remote server directly from IDE. Input and outputs include nearly any SQL and NoSQL databases, numerous file formats, text and binary, REST and SOAP web services, live debugging with step-through logic, automate backend process via timer, directory, events or message queue, or expose web services and call APIs via HTTP requests. Genesis provides a unique platform that captures the needs of user and generates application for present and future technologies without the need to learn new technology. Allows pragmatic developers to evolve quickly, responding to market and technological changes in agile way. Feature Features: AI-based automatic software generation, multi-expanse apps, model ones generate for multiple platforms, and response and progressive web apps, mobile native, hybrid apps, Apple TV, chatbots, and virtual assistants. Highest flexibility, the largest number of database supported in the market, and business process management support, digital process automation through integrated BPM modeling. Deployment flexibility. Deploy apps on premises, in the cloud, or in hybrid scenarios. Application security module included. No runtime per generated application priced by developer set. Kite. Kite is a software development tools that automatically completes multiple line codes. This editor supports more than 16 language. It helps you to code faster with no hassle. Features. It offers Java documentation. This editor provides a function signature as you type. You will get a tooltip on mouse hover. Provides supports in email. Uses machine learning models for Java language. Access Right Manager. Access Right Manager is a tool that can manage your audit access right across IT infrastructure. This application helps you to detect compliance by detecting changes. It enables you to generate audit ready reports instantly. Feature. This application can act on high-risk access, offices accurate and pass account provisioning, helps you to manage access right with ease. It can minimize the impact of insider threats. Next is schema. DB schema is a visual database designer and manages for any SQL, NoSQL, or cloud database. The tool enables you to visually design and interact with the database schema. Design the schema in a team and deploy it on multiple databases. Generate HTML5 diagram documentation. Visually explore the data and build queries and so much more. Features. Design schema in the team and deploy on multiple databases. Compare the different version of the schema. Generate migration scripts. HTML5 documentation, interactive diagrams, relational data explorer, and visual query builder. Schema synchronization, random data generator, data loader, database reports, SQL editor with auto-completion. NetBeans. NetBeans is a popular free open source IDE. It is one of the best application development tools that allows developing desktop, mobile, and web application. Features. Support for fast and smart coding, editing, easy and efficient project management process, rapid user interface development, helps to write bug-free code. NetBeans IDE offers superior support for C, C++, and PHP developers. It can be installed on any OS which support Java from Windows to Linux to macOS X system. Cloud9. Cloud9 IDE is an online integrated software development environment. It is one of the best software design tools that support many programming languages like C, C++, PHP, Ruby, Perl, Python, JavaScript, and Node. Features allows to clone entire development environment. Built-in terminal for command line wizard. Code completion. Suggestion helps software developers to code faster and avoid typos. The debugger helps developer to set breakpoints and inspect variables of any JS nodes apps. Simply drag any file or terminal to create multiple speed views. Developers can select an extensive set of default runners to execute apps such as Ruby, Python, PHP, and others. Send Studio allows software developers to code faster, debug more easily. It is next generation PHP IDE designed to create apps for boosting developers' productivity. It is one of the best developer tools which scales according to the DPI settings of the underlying operating system. Features. Code faster with up to performance improvement in indexing, validation, searching for PHP code, offering debugging capabilities with Xdebug, Send Debugger, and Z-Ray integration. Extensive plugin provided by the large Eclipse ecosystem. It is one of the most programming tools that support development tools, included Docker, and gate flow. Deploy PHP application on any server for Amazon, AWS, and Microsoft Azure. Atom. Atom is a solid, all-around text editor. It is fully free and open source. This software development tool can be customized to do anything but without a need for modifying the config file. Features. Atom works across many popular operating systems like OS X, Windows, or Linux. It helps developers to write code faster with a smart, flexible autocomplete. Easily browse and open the whole project or multiple projects in one window. It is possible to split Atom interface in multiple panes to compare and edit code across files. Find, preview, and replace text in type, in file, or entire project. Cold Lobster. Code Lobster streamlines and simplifies PHP software development process. It supports CMS like WordPress, Drupal, Joomla, and Magento. Features: PHP, HTML, JavaScript, CSS, code highlighting, autocomplete of tags, attributes for a current tag, closing tags. Inspector make it simple to find HTML element and their styles buried deep in the page. Autocomplete of style, property names, and values. It allows auto-completing of keywords, DOM elements, and their properties. It offers PHP Advanced Autocomplete. CodeCharge Studio. CodeCharge Studio offers the fastest way to build application. This tool helps to develop data-driven websites or enterprise internet and intranet system. Features: avoid costly errors and misspellings by generating consistent, well-structured code. Eliminate time-consuming programming tasks and build scalable, robust web application. Helps to convert any database into a web application in very less amount of time. Analyze and modify generated code to learn web technologies and take on programming project in any environment. Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a responsive framework for developing with HTML, CSS, and JS or JavaScript. It is one of the best software programming tools that has many inbuilt components which you can easily drag and drop to assemble a responsive web page. Features: Bootstrap enable utilization of ready-made block of code. It ensures consistent irrespective of who's working on the project. It offers extensive list of components based highly for most HTML elements. Bootstrap can be customized according to the specific need of the project. HTML5 Builder. HTML5 Builder is a software solution for building the web and mobile apps. It can develop an app using a single HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, and PHP code base. It helps to target multiple mobile operating system, devices, and web browsers. Features: it is the fastest way to develop cross-platform apps with the flexible cloud services. Increase the speed of development with a single visual framework. It is one of the best tools in software that brings design and developers in a collaborative workflow. Create enterprise or ISV web and mobile apps. Create location-based browser and mobile application using geolocation components in HTML5 Builder. Visual Studio Online. Visual Studio Online is a collection of services. It is fast and easy to plan, build, and ship software across a variety of platforms. It is one of the best tools for software developers that allows organization to create the perfect development environment. Features: track and manage all ideas on Kanban or Scrum boards with Agile tools. Improve code quality and catch issues early. Build, manage, secure, and share software components. Automate and simplify Azure deployments. Tools for manual performance and automated testing. It offers a central version control system with private repositories. Azure. Azure. is widely used by developers to build and deploy and manage web application. Features: it supports wide range of operating system, programming language, frameworks, and devices. Allows to build up quickly and easily and it easily detects and mitigate threats. Rely on the most trusted cloud. Allows to manage proactively and help delivers mobile apps seamlessly. Kuati Agile Deployment is a software development tool. It is one of best software developer tools that automates application or microservices to any number of servers. It fully automates deployment of text and binary files from any numbers of target servers. Features: it allows managing environment-specific configuration parameters for your application. It allows generating command line installer to be used for deployment on environment. This software development tool eliminates the need for installation and configuration. It also takes out many operational risks in the software development process. It is friendly web interface. Let's configure deployment efficiently and painlessly. It supports a broad range of operating systems, including Linux, Windows, Mac OS X, Solaris, etc. Daitao Data Science Studio or DSS. Daitao DSS is a collaborative data science software platforms. It is used by scientists, data analysis, and engineers to explore, prototype, build, and deliver their data products. Features: profile the data visually at various stages of the analysis. Prepare and enrich, blend, and clean data using more than 80 plus built-in function. Bundleable workflow as a single deployable package for real-time prediction. Build and optimize models in Python or R and integrate any external ML library through code APIs. GitHub allows developers to review code, manage projects, and build software. It offers right tool for different development jobs. Features: coordinates easily, stay aligned, and get done with GitHub's project management tools. Easy documentation alongside quality coding. It is one of the best software dev tools that allows all code in a single place, and developers can host their documentation directly from repositories. Bitbucket. Bitbucket is a version control tool. It facilitates easy collaboration among software development team. It integrates very well with Jira, a famous project and issue managing app. Features: branch permission access to ensure that the only right people can make changes to the code. It is one of the best software tools example that helps development team to focus on a goal, products, or process by organizing repositories into projects. It can display build results from CI system, integrate into existing workflow to streamline software development process. Azure. Azure provides capability to produce wireframes, prototypes, and create documentation. This tool is used by business analysts, products managers, and IT consultants around the world. Feature: Azure RP generates prototype in HTML and provides link for sharing. It is one of the best dev programs which allows multiple people to work on the same file at the same time. It can run on Microsoft IIS with a MySQL or Microsoft SQL Server database. It helps create and maintain widget libraries. Code Code B Code Code NB automates application or microservice to n numbers of servers. It is one of the best software developing tools which fully automates deployment of text and binary files from any number of target servers. Features: it allows managing environment specific configuration, parameters for your application, It allows generating command line installer to be used for deployment on any environment. This software development tool eliminates the need for installation and configuration. It takes out many operational risks in the software development process. The friendly web interface lets configure deployment efficiently and painlessly. It supports a broad range of operating systems including Linux, Windows, Mac OS, X, Solaris, etc. Next is other language and application development tools. First is JavaScript. JavaScript is a best for platform app development, mobile apps used for various platforms and web browsing. It smoothly runs in other environments outside of browsers and can be compiled from a wide array of programming language. So my vote for the best programming language is for JavaScript. JavaScript pros. Versatile and flexible language and can use in many ways through Node.js and faster on the client-side browsing and don't need to be compiled. Straightforward to work with and easy to control. No set standard and plenty of rooms for variation. And cons, JavaScript cons, is vulnerable and can be exploited for malicious purpose in some cases. You can encounter some browser support issues in some cases. Server-side Scrap always provide the same output and client-side is a bit unpredictable. Kotlin Kotlin is a statistically typed programming language used for developing modern Android application. Kotlin is a really best language for apps. Kotlin has the potential to influence other programming languages such as Java to make high-performing robust apps. Some popular apps built in Kotlin are Trello, Evernote, Coursera, and many more. Kotlin pros: clean, concise, and perspective syntax increases team efficiency. Interoperable and versatile and can easily overrule the shortcoming of Java. Has full support from Google and IDE installation package, including iDroid and SDK toolkit. Generates compact, simple, and cleaner code as compared to Java. Kotlin cons. Still, a new language in the market so hard to learn, so think before you choose it. Sometimes get slower, and there are limited resources for learning. C++. C++ is considered to be an outstanding choice for mobile app development. It is general purpose, objective-oriented language with generic and low-level memory manipulation features. Used for Android app and native app development. C++ is used for developing games, GUI-based application, real-time mathematical simulation, banking apps, etc. And C++ is a popular with cloud computing apps as it can quickly adapt to changing hardware or ecosystem. C++ pros. Fast and stable and has vast pool of ready-to-use inbuilt libraries and compilers. If you know C++, you can quickly learn Java, C, and C. No garbage collectors is running in the background. You can take full control and app can run on any platform and take advantage of any hardware. C++ cons. Complex syntax, a small standard library. Most complicated programming language to master. Cannot support garbage collection or dynamic memory allocation. The object orientation is quite essential as compared to the other language. See, this is another objective oriented general purpose programming language and extensively used for mobile development, major for cross-platform and Windows app development. C has everything you want to achieve using other programming language such as Swift, Objective-C, and Java programming language. If you plan to develop an interactive high-performance game app, this is the best language. C pros: fast, easy to use, and quick to deploy. Generic strong typing, functional imperative, declarative, component-oriented, and objective-oriented disciplines. Simple, modern, and general purpose language. Most preferred programming language. C cons. to create and complex language for fresh learners, case-sensitive language and create confusion even if there is a slight mismatch between even alphabets. Python. Python is used for developing web application, desktop apps, media tools, machine learning, network server, and more. Example of Python are YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest. The language provides excellent library, support robust integration, and enhanced control capabilities. If you are a startup planning to develop your app, Python is the best language. Python pros. Fast, easy to use, quick to deploy, easy to learn, and excellent at readability. High-level programming language used for analyzing, computing, scientific, and numeric data, and for software development. An interactive language used to build a scalable apps and support GUI application. Supports multiple systems with platforms and has a huge set of frameworks which programming flexible. Python cons, slow execution time, not that great with modern mobile application development, not a great choice with memory intensive tasks, has some drawbacks with data access. PHP. PHP is one of most recommended programming language for mobile apps that need database access. It is an open source language used for server-side scripting, command line scripting and coding application, widely used for creating e-commerce application, content, heavy apps, dynamic web application, and mobile apps. It is a flexible language that can be easily embedded into HTML or HTML5. A few of the popular websites on PHP are Wikipedia, Facebook, and Yahoo. PHP Pros, easy to learn, is platform independent and exceptionally compatible with smooth integration. Is excellent with content-heavy apps and loads quickly even with a slow internet connection. Inbuilt security features to protect from complex security threats. Great language for learners which can then help them learn complex program development quickly. PHP cons. The open source nature of the language is readily available for all to see, and thus bugs can be found quickly to exploit its weakness. Not suitable for large application, not modular and is difficult to maintain. The framework needs better error handling. Swift, a prospective game changer in the mobile app development space. Swift is an open source programming language specifically designed to work with iOS, OS X, and tvOS platforms. The language is flexible, scalable, and can easily adapt as a programming pattern to add modern feature to any app. Swift is expressive and fun to work with as scripting language along with having the first industrial quality system. Example of app developed in Swift are Live, Link, Linkend, Hipmunk, and more. Swift Pros. Swift Pros can execute on Cocoa and Cocoa Touch platform. Requires less later maintenance and avoids some of the bugs of Objective-C. Projects are easier to scale. Powerful, intuitive, and easy to learn programming language. Writing Swift code is interactive and fun. The syntax is expressive yet concise and has multiple features for seamless and safe design yet produces lightning fast software. Swift cons. It's still a nascent stage and can be considered quite young for development of heavy apps. Consider unstable language as it new and the market needs regular updates. Objective-C, an extended version of C language. Objective-C is a general-purpose, objective-oriented program language with added feature like small talk, style messaging, a well-updated mature programming language. Objective-C is mainly used for macOS and iOS app development and operating system. Objective-C Pros, easy to learn and used by most of the developers and a lot of legacy codes are included to support NES coding style. Cons: does not support any latest feature which are then overcome by Swift, and it requires extended coding which is time consuming. Java. Java is an official Android development object-oriented programming language with inbuilt open source libraries readily available for users to choose from. Java is easy to handle and offers the best documentation and community support. With Java's vibrant spectrum of features, you can develop the best cross-platform apps, Android apps, and game server apps, embedded space website, and more. Java's pros: popular for code reusability and portability. Java codes can run in multiple environments, virtual machine, browsers, and different platforms. Safeguards developers against issues inherent in native code, memory leaks, etc. Flexible, versatile, portable, and platform-independent programming language, and explicit interface, simplified and machine-independent language. Java cons: some bugs may occur while running Java in a virtual machine, JVM. Poorly written class libraries and complex syntax in some cases. Complex implementation due to poor garbage collection. HTML5. Are you planning to build web-fronted apps or location-based apps for mobile devices? Then the fifth version of Hypertext Market Language or HTML5 is an ideal option for you. It is not a programming language but a markup language that uses tags to structure and present the content on the web page. The latest updates of HTML5 highlights exceptional features like media elements, multi-platform functionality for different programs, and quiet market deployment. Examples of HTML5 are Google Docs and Google Drive. HTML pros: compatible with all the browser and new feature and standard already emerged. Inbuilt capabilities to support rich media formats like studio and video. Load faster using local storage or cache. Fast canvas elements used for embedding application based on geolocation. Dynamic graphics, offline or online games, and animation. Cons: above amount of coding required for each platform, does not support all version or system, causing a backward compatibility issue. It takes a longer time to develop a mobile app as each platform requires its coding. In the case of customization or adding features, HTML5 adjusts the code and the tools for iOS and Android goes behind the official SDK. Ruby. Ruby is a back-end object-oriented scripting language used in development of web application, servers, system utilities, and standards. Standard libraries. Over the years, Ruby has evolved into general-purpose, high-level, multiple paradigm interpreted programming language. It is a functional language that directly executes the instruction rather than compiling the program in machine language. A few well-known websites developed using Ruby are Twitter, Bloomberg, Airbnb, and Shopify. Ruby Pro supports dynamic typing to make changes on the go without affecting the overall result. Allows type typing that focuses on the operation rather than class object. Easy to maintain, smooth performance, and intuitive code quality, garbage collected, and concise. Easy to learn and execute for beginners. Cons: consider a slow language and is not popular for the development of web apps or mobile apps. The shortage of flexibility and the boot time of the frameworks is quite long. Slow runtime speed and low performance, and development and updates for bug fixes are low. RAS. RAS has been Stack Overflow most loved language for 4 years in a row. Sponsored by Mozilla, RAS is a system programming language having syntax almost similar to C++ with a strong compile time correctness, fast performance, intuitiveness, and safe memory. Rust is useful in a time-constrained scenario and to develop application across different fields. Example of Rust are Dropbox and Yelp. Rust pros. Errors are caught while compiling the code. Developers are encouraged to write optimized and high-performance code. Support functional and imperative procedural paradigm. Safe concurrent and practical language. Low-level language suited for embedded system. Cons. Installation with Windows is not straightforward. Does not have inbuilt libraries as compared to other language. Difficult to learn and execute for beginners. A steep learning curve and slow to compile. Lua. Lua is a lightweight mobile-first enterprise communication solution. It is a cross-platform multi-programming language. It powers inbuilt messaging for business and is instant secure and keeps developer accountable. It is popular for real-time secure messaging, analytics, dashboard, easy file sharing, and two-touch conference calling. If you want to improve the speed, extensibility, portability, and reliability of your apps, Lua is perfect for embedded application. Lua's pros. One of the fastest language which use the least amounts of runtime memory. The smallest memory footprints for bundling and is helpful for error handling. Lua C API is very well documented and can be easily integrated with C. Reduces API, lower learning curve. Cons. True, the documentation has improved. It is still a bit sketchy overall, not adequately documented with the last amount of code comments, and not easy to learn and execute for beginners, and has poor garbage collection capacity. ActionScript is a popular programming language for Adobe Flash Player, Adobe Air runtime environments, and is a tool in the text stack language category. It is an object-oriented programming language derived from Hypertext, the scripting language for HyperCard. Look into use Adobe Flash Player on your website or software. Lua works great with animation or motion in website and development. ActionScript pros. ActionScript version 1.0 and 2.0 and run on the same machine. Support custom classes like external text files structured in a particular way. It's popular among developers using Adobe Flash Player on Adobe Air. For database application and basic robotics, ActionScript is the most suitable language. Cons. To program with the latest version of ActionScript, Flash Player 9 or the higher release is required. Need to keep things simple as it would be difficult to demonstrate complex content. SQL. SQL stands for Structured Query Language, used for assessing, communicating, and manipulating the standard database for most applications. SQL is designed to meet a specific standard, both ANSI and ISO, and there is extensive support for both on a community and enterprise level. Strength, relational data model, and referential integrity between data query, data manipulation, and data access control with well-defined standards. SQL is widely used in business intelligence tool platforms. SQL pros, powerful and one of the most popular query language. Optimized for large number of table rows and support many different database choices. Can handle a large number of transactions in a single query. Fast for retrieving data, search and querying of data from multiple tables, high availability and consistency of data. Cons. Difficulty in interpreting complex to add a few lines of code in between. A predefined and explicit data model can be difficult to convert data from objects into database table. Vertically scalable, it can only run on the one server So if speed increases, hardware needs to be upgraded, lack of partition tolerance. And last A and web development. Web development refers in general to the tasks associated with developing websites for hosting via intranet or internet. The web development process include web design, web content development, client side or server side scripting, and network security configuration, among other tasks. In a broader sense, web development encompasses all the actions, updates, and operation required to build, maintain, and manage a website to ensure its performance, user experience, and speed are optimal. It might also, but not necessarily, include all those strategic action needed to ensure its proper ranking on search engine results. Usually, those tasks pertain to a different specialization, namely search engine optimization or SEO. Web development it is also known as web development, while the professionals that maintain a website are called web developers or more commonly web devs. And it has a three major development. First is front end web development. Front end web development is responsible for the look and feel of a website. This means how colors, type, icons, and image appear. Increasingly front end development has to account for how a website looks on all devices, from desktop to tablet to phone. Typically, programming language include HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. Front-end developers keep up with cutting-edge trends in web design and development to make sure websites are optimized for user and search engines and with security best practice in mind. Next is back-end web development. Back-end web development is responsible for building and maintaining the code that runs a website. This code connects the website to the server and ensure that data flows properly to the website and that transactions are processed correctly. Typical programming language include Java, different from JavaScript, PHP, and MySQL. Newer tools include Python and Golang. Back-end web developers can keep up with changes in the technology by participating in networking communities that share coding tips and support. Full stack web development. Full stack web development covers both front end and back end responsibilities. Depending on the complexity of website, a full stack developers may be responsible for all phases of its development, from the server side to the user interface. Many full stack developers may still specialize in one aspect for web development, but their broad experience is useful in troubleshooting or speeding up a build or redesign. Full stack developers are often responsible for identifying cutting edge technologies such as enhanced programming language or even no or low code trends in blockchain that can be used to strengthen website business and capabilities. And that's all. Thank you.